Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Building My Super Suit. This is not the official mask, and this is not going to be the official shell. This is the version 2 shell, and I wouldn't say the version 2 mask. This is more just like a placeholder because I wasn't happy with version 1 at all. I was like, I need something that I can wear for now until I have the new suit. That was this. But the new suit came in today. Oh, wait. It's gonna be right there. That's version 1. We're about to get into that. We're gonna take a look at both of them. We're gonna talk about what I changed in the overall pattern, what has changed about the options I got when getting it printed and sewn up together, and then I think we'll have to do our first try on of the new suit. Let's get right into it. Okay, guys. So I'm out in my living room just so I can have a little bit more arm space to show you guys, hopefully, a pretty good look at the differences between the two suits. Starting off with the version 1. The emblem feels pretty small in my opinion, especially compared to the white area right here. Something that I changed almost immediately after ordering this initial suit is making the emblem more like this one, where it's squared than rectangular. I realized that just especially for how my proportion of my body is, the rectangular emblem does not work. But this felt so small when I got it, and what felt even smaller is the back logo. This takes up literally no space on my back, and I have a oddly proportioned back compared to everything else, so it's really funky. And it's unfortunately kind of the same situation with version 1 or version 2, but we'll get into that in a second because it is better on version 2. So on version 1, you cannot really see the texture all that well. You can kind of see it, but it's so small. I'll try to get some close-ups just to show you. And then a big thing that I did on this one that isn't on that one is the rubber emblems. This is rubber, and that is also rubber. The red that they chose is so muted, and I think it's super muddy and ugly. I hate the red that they ended up going with on this. So whenever I do make my version 3 and I do the emblems myself, hopefully it'll be a lot more vibrant, because this, in my opinion, sucks. So when I got this suit, it was mainly a test. I wanted to test out the proportions of everything so I could get a better understanding for how I want the suit to look in physical media, right? Big thing right here. The white part, way too big, like just absurdly big. It goes probably like right here on me, I would say. When I want it like up here, the gap right here between the arms, realistically, it should be like here and here. There's supposed to be not an actual, but like an inch to an inch and a half of, half an inch to an inch of gap there to let it breathe and let it separate. It's not supposed to feel like it's all coming together, although technically it does. Down here, this part, way too wide. So the way that this one is, when it lays, like when I'm wearing it, it's coming out like right here instead of in here where I want it. It's coming all the way over here. Completely ruins the proportions of the suit, makes me look even wider, and I'm already a very wide person. A big change that I made was the white on the arms. On this white, it comes around your arms. So it's like if you're looking at me from this angle, all of this, literally all of it is white. On the new suit, it's going to be a little lower, a little thinner, and I'll show you that in a second. Because the last couple of things I want to show you, the legs. There's going to be a There's going to be a side-by-side of the two suits after this part, but something that I've really changed about the legs is the boots are longer, so the boot that ends here probably comes up to about here, and the white is significantly higher on the legs on the next version, because I was hoping for the whites to kind of fall where my knees are. Did not do that whatsoever. Now, before ordering this, I hadn't ordered a suit for myself in a hot minute. I'm used to being a large. This is a large, and it is unbearably tight. I have been losing weight, and it did get a little easier to put on, but it's absurd. Like, I promise you, this isn't a large. This is like between a medium and a large. And like my little brother, he's a medium. He probably would have a hard time getting into this suit. I tried to talk to the company about it, and they basically were just like, oh, well, you probably just got your measurements wrong. Sure, man. Of course I did. So the next one is going to be an extra large. It fits width-wise, but a lot of the pieces are really long on me, which is really annoying. especially the neck, and I'm going to get into that because that is a huge issue for me. Proportion wise, the only other thing I really changed were the boots. Here are the boots. There's a little bit of white on my boot if you didn't know. This is pretty small. I just made it a little bit bigger. I do like it on the other suit, but I was okay with this one. I just wanted to expand a little bit more. This one is also, the mask is attached. There is a secondary mask. That's the one that version 1 mask is visor piece is on. But besides that, super basic. It's a U-zip. It's a U-zip, has wrist zippers, and then calf zippers. The next suit, mask detached, wrist zippers, no calf zippers, straight back zip, because I knew I wasn't gonna have the rubber emblem, so I really was just looking to see if I nailed the proportions this time, which I would say I did, which is awesome. So the next version is going to be using the same layout, but it will just be hopefully better overall. Without further ado, let's get into the other one, because I always tend to ramble. Okay, version 2. I didn't bring the mask, that's in my room still, but first off, already you can definitely see that the texture is a lot more obvious. And what I did for the textures this time around is I literally just made it a bunch of my logo, just really small. Another thing you might have noticed immediately, the emblem is now squared, so it feels a lot bigger, and then the white part is a lot higher up, like I was kind of talking about, and then the bigger gap here. The white of the gloves are the exact same, because I was okay with it last time. And then, like I said about the little boot pieces, you can tell that there's a little bit more. And then, you should be able to tell that there is a lot more white this time around, because it goes up higher and it covers like all of my kneecap area. Here's a look at the back logo. Unfortunately, something that they did that was definitely not on my pattern is they shrunk this piece. Like they just sewed it too close. This should be the same width or a little bit thinner than these, but now it's like a quarter of it, which does suck because it does kind of ruin the shape overall. And I need all the help I can get because I have a very weirdly shaped back, which you will see in a second. But overall, I am super happy with it. You can also probably tell that the white on the arms, although still thick, is a lot thinner. And then the colors on this, I feel, are just a lot richer. Version 3 will be darker in this blue, but this blue I'm super happy with. So overall, I think this is a huge, huge, huge improvement. There's just some things that the company did that I'm not happy with. So I'm just not probably gonna talk to them anymore because they keep messing up my suits. This was made by Print Costume. The last one was by Print Costume. Next time I'm waiting on an email back because I have some very specific ideas. We're waiting on Hero's Time to message us back, which is actually where I got my first spandex suit. It was a Spider-Man suit when I was in middle school, so that's cool. One thing real quick before I do the side-by-side, the neck. The neck. When I emailed them and I tried to check with them and they were like, oh yeah, we're all good, I asked for the neck of this to sit lower, like about here, and then the mask to drop all the way down here. Instead, what they did, they made the mask normal, and then the neck on the suit comes up to my mouth when I'm not wearing the shell. So to get it down to sit over here, it basically is choking me. So now I have to find someone to fix it because of the mistake they made that I specifically tried to fight against. It's like they didn't even do it normally. They made it worse. And I wanted it to be short, and they made it extra long. And it was, I was a little upset, I will say that. But we're going to lay these down on the ground, take a quick look at them, and then I'll throw this one on for you. Let's get into it. All right, so here are the two suits. This is obviously version 1, this is version 2. I think overall, laying here is going to be the clearest kind of difference here. This is going to, that's going to bother me. Okay. So, biggest differences off the bat. The colors kind of look similar in this lighting, but they are very different. These colors are a lot darker. These are a lot brighter. On this one, I feel like even from this distance, it's a little bit easier to see the texture. From this distance on here, I feel like you can't even tell that there is texture. Even though this suit is bigger, it's like the white ends like here on this one. Comes in closer to here. It's like you can see a lot of separation, especially from the white, because I already had to shrink that, but there is still, it's like they even like cut into it, which they weren't supposed to do. But that is one of the reasons I'm not going to be working with them on this suit from now on. But another big difference in my opinion is the
lower area. It's like, and keep in mind, this is a bigger suit. Look at how small, like look at how much smaller this gap is from this gap. This gap is huge, so when you're wearing it and it's getting stretched out, that gap that's this big is not going to go this big. So this one, where it's this, it's not going to be like that is what I was hoping for, and I just didn't think to compensate, because when I'm making my patterns, I'm thinking, okay, get a good base, then I'm going to throw it on a 3D render to see how it looks. The 3D renders don't stretch anything though, so I'm not going to see the best, most accurate representation of everything, but I've learned my lesson. Next off, we're going to talk about the arms. Okay, this is a really hard thing to compare, like visually, just because like these are going to look very similar to you guys, but like I can see a very big difference. So best way to show it is on the new suit. This is the seam line. You have that much. And then on this side, go to the seam line. You have that much. But then on this one, seam line right here, you have this much. And then that little itty bit on this side. And then when you're looking at the glove, as you can see, the dark blue ends very early down here and cuts really deep. This one goes up higher, and I don't think it cuts as deep. Yeah, it cuts off a lot sooner. And then you can see when looking at it as a tube, all of the white is going to be covered. So the white is going to surround my forearm like this. But then on this one, you can see even just the little bit of blues peeking through. That's going to let it be like this instead of like that, which I know, once again, very small difference, but to me, super, super important, because I'm not just creating some random person's character. I'm not making a Spider-Man suit or a Superman suit or a Batman. This is my guy. So it is my responsibility to get him as close as I see him, like as I need him to be, because this is representing the character that I've created. Now for the legs, off the bat, you can see that there's a lot less blue here. There's a ton more blue here. The white is longer, and then also is a little bit wider because it felt very thin on my legs. And then on this suit, something that I added that I did not add on the other suit is all the way up here. It has my like my motto: be better, be kind. I did not include that on this one because this one was a lot more of like just getting the look down than the small little baby details. And then a quick look at the feet real quick. As I was saying, this is just longer. That's a little longer, just so it's more noticeable. I don't want it to be seen as some like mistake or a hidden issue. Like I need it to be known that this is a part of the design, right? So this is version 1. You can see that even on the white, it has a texture. The white texture is actually the logo. That's actually the first time I had the idea of doing my logo as one of the textures, and that obviously ended up going into that. And then on here, it's just a very, very basic kind of just a bunch of rectangles. My idea behind it was the Gymshark compression shirts, the Onyx. The Onyx has a bunch of these dotted, like rectangular gashes in it. And that was kind of what inspired me for this one, because like I'm a personal trainer. I don't think I've told you guys that. I'm a personal trainer. A part of doing this is I want to use it as a fun way to teach people health and wellness. So being able to implement that part of my life into this is a big thing for me. But yeah, so let's get a good look at all of these going together. Like, I think it looks nice. It actually looks really nice on camera. It doesn't look as nice in person. I wish I did the textures a whole lot bigger than I did. So you can see there's lines, segmenting, kind of like paneling, which is something I also do here, but I did a lot better on that one. But yeah, so let's take a look at version 2. Version 2, yay! So I actually didn't do any texture on the white. I just felt like on version 1 it got super muddied when I did it, so I wanted to keep it pure white. And then let's take a look. Like I was saying, the texture is so much more obvious on this one, and it is all the logo. Unfortunately, it's hard for you to see, so I'll take a photo and show you guys. But then, like I was saying, the paneling, instead of just doing lines, I actually did it where on this one, the base layer is a darker color, then lighter color, and then on this one, it's that light color from here over here. And I think it looks a lot nicer. And then obviously you have your darker color here. It's kind of hard to see because of just the way that these are printed, but there's a line of the dark blue to separate the textures before, so they don't like combine. Just a small detail that I will only know about. But yeah, super stoked with how everything looks. The last thing we'll do before throwing it on is look at the backs, because that is going to be a really big difference. Just the utter size of it all, right? So here is the back of version 2. Here is the back of version 1. It dwarfs it. Like, look at the sheer size difference back to back. Trying to line it up relatively. Like, that's insane. This is definitely a lot more what I was hoping for, but like I said, they did kind of fudge it up. There's not supposed to be a bowed effect in it. It's supposed to be a straight line. This is closer to what I was looking for. And then that is really thin up there. Yeah, you can even see that they definitely like cut it off early, because now my lines don't match up perfectly. And I promise you they did. I promise you they did. But overall, it's a lot better than this one. But I think now all we have to do is throw version 2 on as our kind of official reveal of this new stage of the suit. Let's get into it. Alright guys, here it is. As you can probably easily tell, I'm a little chubby. I need to lose some weight. I'm working on it actively. I'm already down like 10 pounds, but I'm shooting for at least 15 more. I'm 190 something. I actually forgot to weigh myself this morning. I have to go do that. But the goal is to be 185 to 175. 180 to 175, I would say, just because last time I was that, I had less muscle than I do now, and I still looked okay. So hopefully I'll look a lot cooler now. But as you just saw, that's kind of what I was talking about with my back feeling like weirdly proportioned. A lot of it is just because of my love handles. I have pretty severe love handles, and that throws off the rest of my shape. But I hope you guys had a good day. I hope the suit is cool to you guys. It's probably not as cool as I find it for you, but I adore this thing, and I will see you guys later.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Super basic stuff. I just wanted to kind of go over everything that is different on this one, just because like this is genuinely a really big and important thing to me. It's like, check it out. Like this does mean a lot, because I want to do the thing that I mentioned, where I want to make this into a way to teach people good habits and inspire people to do something better. And a big part of that is looking the part, looking like the hero I want to be. Hopefully next Friday we're gonna have a video where I'm completely remaking my helmet and visor for this new suit, and then this one will be put on the Navy mask and retired. I don't know if you can see it, but version 1 is here, I believe, and then you can see I'm waiting to print the actual head part, but the Navy mask and this particular helmet is going to be put on display and retired, unless I need to wear it for any kind of reason, which could happen. But that is it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night. Be better, be kind, and I will see you later.